checkpoint. What I'm going to talk about is I'm actually trying to go slightly I'm trying to go out of topic. What I'm going to talk about is securing remote access. Because at the end of the day, the users who are going to access the cloud are going to be users who are going to be sitting in remote offices or mobile workforce or people who are going to work from home. So let me actually speak about a product called as Abra. This is a product which we actually recently launched in one of the security conferences this year, and it has got the Innovation of the Award this year. So let's see what Abra is. See, this is actually So what happens is, this Abra is actually a product which enables users to connect from home and work securely, transfer data securely, and they'll be able to connect to the remote office. How this works is, the moment you plug in the Abra stick into the computer, a secure virtual workspace actually opens it. What happens after what you can do in the workspace, you can actually remotely work, you can exchange data, you can connect your VPN, you can transfer files, you can block import export of files from the Abra stick. And the main advantage of this is just a plug and play device. If you have users who are actually carrying a laptop, or if you have users who are sales people, or you have partners, or you have distributors who are actually connecting from outside your organization to the organization, what this does is, instead of them carrying a laptop, they can just carry the USB stick. They can just plug in the USB stick, a remote virtual workspace will pop up, and they'll be able to do anything and everything inside the virtual workspace, but they'll not be able to take anything out of it. Why Abra? Who actually needs Abra? See, any user who is actually connecting from remote home, or we have contractors who will be logging to the site, who will be able to, who will be uploading data. We have different customers who will be accessing a customer's site, or different users who will be accessing from outside the customer's site to exchange data. So, what managed PCs? PCs which are not something which is given by the corporate. Also, there is a recent survey which actually says that 42% of the US employees are made to work from home. It's not again in US, but again in India, even my friends, they are there. They actually work 2 days out of their home. So what happens is there are a lot of users who are actually connecting from home. The problem where it starts is, you have other users who are actually using their laptops. So what happens is a lot of issues like worms, trojans, and all those which are actually affecting the PC, which are also affecting the data which they have to transfer to the office. Second is, recently there was this H1N1 epidemic. We also had, I guess on October 30th of last month, where a lot of people had to work from home due to various conditions. So what happens is, suddenly, there is some natural calamity or something where users are not able to return to office. The productivity is majorly hampered here because, again, since these people are not able to return to office, they will not be able to do their work. So, end of the day, it's going to affect the company's production. Another, third example, as you can call is, you have a lot of remote workforces nowadays who are connecting from outside, or you have more distributors or partners, or you have people who will log into your corporate site to load orders. So there are different users who are actually connecting from outside, and we need to also make sure that we secure them. So that is when the Abra solution actually plays a big picture. This is how the Abra solution works. See, the main advantage of this Abra solution is just the USB. Now you give them the USB, you plug in the USB, as I was showing earlier, a secure virtual workspace will open. The advantage is not required that they need to be always online for the virtual workspace to open. It's normal, just SSL VPN connectivity which they have to establish their data center. The main advantage is it's not required that they need to have a VPN connectivity for the virtual workspace. They can work offline as well. So even when users are traveling or when they are going on vacation or whatever, they can just carry this USB stick. They can plug it in. They can work online as well as offline. So this is how the virtual workspace looks. They have, on the top you have import-export options using which the user can transfer data between their PC and the system. You have a small toggle menu, and you have a remote VPN connectivity using which they can connect to the VPN and access the data in the data center. And they can also launch approved applications. What do I mean by approved applications here is, Assume if you are going to have a Word file or Excel file, whatever file which the user is going to use. It is like this works on a concept called as application whitelisting. So you basically tell the user what is the application which you can use and what is the application which you cannot use. So assume if you are going to give a permission to a user to use a Word file and that Word file has a virus on top of it. What happens is it will say that only the winword.exe or the Word file is allowed. And let's say if there is a virus on top of it saying, Trojan horse.exe or move32.exe, just say that that virus is not a whitelisted application, so it's not allowed. So what it does is it actually secures all the application which is inside the workspace. Another main advantage or another main concern which we have to take care is how to keep the data secure inside. Every USB is actually comes with a 158-bit AES encryption. So if some user is going to use the USB, even if another user is going to get the USB, he will not be able to take any data with the USB. Whatever data that's there inside the USB resides inside the USB. Another thing is, since it opens up a secure virtual workspace, and the user cannot transfer data in and out. It basically runs on a policy management server where you can actually set permissions to the user, saying what is the application, whether he can copy files into this or he cannot copy files into this. So again, it prevents the data leakage. So if you are going to do this to a user who is having a lot of corporate data inside USB and you don't want him to maybe take a printout or copy the data or take the data out of the USB, it acts that also. It actually has a data leakage solution. Third main thing is it blocks all unauthorized applications. So whatever application that you are going to give it to the user, say, you can use a Word, you can use an Excel, or it also supports application portabilities where they want to port multiple applications into it, like Oracle or SAP or whatever. They'll be able to access the applications only which you work with. Having this, it actually leverages the existing infrastructure whereby instead of IT manager or instead of a user spending on a laptop or any other mobile device, it's enough if he just buys an USB and he'll be able to do the same work traveling across or sitting from whichever location, and there will be no issue. So it actually runs on a checkpoint gateway, so everything is managed centrally. And it also takes care, it actually brings down the IP sets, and as we talk about go-to, if users working from home, it actually helps them. So you basically have three solutions in one. Secure virtualization, where you have a secure virtual workspace out of USB. You have secured connection solutions, whereby they'll be able to connect securely to the VPN and access the resources within in the data center. Third one is portable plug-and-play solution. Anywhere they go to internet kiosk, they can work. They go to an airport, they can work. They go anywhere across the world, they can work just by plugging in the USB, with or without internet. So since we talk about this the possible customer base who would be actually interested in these kind of solutions, one is compliance. Since this ABRA will do a compliance check whereby you can make sure the PC runs updated antivirus or updated firewall, or you need to give access to the user only if he runs an updated antivirus or firewall. They can actually do it. Now, any medical company or take up, any financial company you take up, they have their own regulations. Or you have ISO 27001 or 28010. Wherever compliance is, this can actually take care of all the compliances. Second thing is, any company which is actually looking at desktop virtualization solutions, or companies where you have more mobile workforce or you have people who are traveling a lot. So this is what it does. It's just a PC in a pocket, or that's how we call it. We call it as a PC in a pocket. It keeps the data secure. It establishes secure virtual connectivity, and it's ideal for any mobile workers who are trying to connect from outside into their corporate network to access and download assets.